Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Bristol United Football Club podcast, the Botcast Football Show. My name is James and once again this week I am joined by John Gilbertson, first team manager. John, how are you, mate?
I'm not too bad, thank you, James.
Good. And we're recording this on Monday after a good weekend for the club. But before we get into that, John, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you?
Good, strong 8, I think, today.
Yeah, nice and positive.
Yeah, nice and positive. Try to be as always.
Yeah, and I just realised, like I said, we're recording this on Monday. It's not Monday, it's Tuesday today.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
I didn't want to correct Joe because I thought that might sound a bit weird, so I thought that's right.
I've lost a day, which isn't good, is it? But no, it is Tuesday. So a good solid 8, yeah?
Good solid 8.
Good, and I'm probably about an 8 as well, to be honest. Not feeling too bad in football tonight, and you got training tonight, which is good. So there's always something to look forward to, isn't there, which is good.
Yeah.
Just on the subject of sort of well-being, it sort of links into charity and that. We mentioned this first on Sunday, this coming Sunday. You got your charity day at the club, haven't you?
We have, yeah. So we start at 10 o'clock, just in case anybody doesn't know. 10 o'clock, and it's an 8-hour game of football this week. So, and we're supporting Alzheimer's Society. So we're raising lots of money, and it's going to be a continuous 8-hour game of football. It's in Imperial Sports Ground on West Town Lane in Bristol.
It's 5-a-side. Is it 5-a-side? Is that right?
5-a-side, yes. It's going to be a 5-a-side. Just obviously we couldn't do the 11-a-side pitches most of them at these events. So it's going to be a good day, and we're hoping to we've already raised lots of money for the Alzheimer's Society, and we're hoping to raise a lot more on the day. There is people's welcome. We got like gazebos and food and drink on down there, so anybody who wants to pop down for hour, please do and support us. Yeah. We're also going to be live streaming the event on YouTube, and there'll be sort of links on the live stream for donations. Anybody watching, just help us raise as much money as we can, and we can support a very worthy cause.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's, like you said, it's a very, very good cause, and and I'm sure it'll be a good day. I'm sure you're ready to do some money. I don't think I'll be able to get there because it's the wife's birthday on Sunday, so
okay.
I don't think she would appreciate me taking her to football on her birthday, to be honest.
Well, I was going to say that sounds like a perfect present, James. So to come and watch us 8 hours in the cold and rain and have a sandwich, cup of tea. It doesn't get better.
The wife will love it. Perhaps I'll get a little cake made for her and take it there as well. Like, I'm sure that's exactly what she wants to do. But no, all joking aside, it is a great cause, and I haven't given any money yet, so we'll have a chat after, and I will make a donation definitely. So,
thank you.
Yeah, so that's this coming Sunday, the 26th of November, 10 till 6 at Imperial. So everybody's welcome to go along and or watch on the stream on YouTube. So that's good. So, of course, this weekend is coming up, but the weekend just gone was a fantastic result on Saturday for the team and a very good performance. I felt it was a very good performance. Obviously, you played the Ilchester Junior Colts and won 3-1. So tell us about the game, John.
Yeah, so it was our cup game, second round cup game. So we had a bye in the first. On the last podcast, I said it was the first round, but we had a bye actually in the first round. So That was a second round game on Saturday, and what was going to be a very sort of tough fixture for us away against a side was top of the league. But as you said, James, I thought we were superb and probably our best performance of the season Saturday. Some really, really good football. Football was played. I thought we were superb all over the pitch and very deserved winners by 3-1 and into the third round of the cup. But the result obviously is always pleasing because you want to progress and pick up points. But the performance is what I was asking for, as you know, mentioned on previous podcasts, and I thought they really delivered all round football sort of maturity. They was just superb, the lads. Managed the game well, and yeah, I was over the moon with it.
Yeah, I think, I mean, like I said, I watched the live stream on Saturday, which, like we said, didn't go as well as was hoped.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is teething errors. But I watched the game and I watched the highlights back and everything, and I thought in particular the defence I thought was particularly good in my opinion.
Yeah, so it's stuff we've worked on because we've conceded a few goals in the first sort of opening 4 or 5 fixtures. And to be honest with you, I mean, some of them was individual mistakes, and some of them was just normal goals you'd let in, and it's stuff we've worked on. Sort of changing formation a little bit and bringing Josh Gilbertson back into from out the forward line into midfield. But Saturday, we know we got top goalie in Reece, and he was relatively quiet. But what pleases me with Reece is I've said this before as well, he's quick off his line and he's excellent with his feet. So not only just intercepting and breaking up passes, he's brilliant at. He's also good at starting the attack. But our back line, again, we sort of had a real a shuffle around, and Mike dropped into right back, Jack left back, which is Jack's been superb since he's dropped in at left back. It's the first time he's ever played there, and he's been top class. But the two centre halves Saturday, Sam, I know what I'm going to get with Sam game in and game out. He's a real important player for us and a great player for us. And with Sam on our side, we were so much better with that sort of, again, that maturity and experience, and he's always on the ball, Sam, Saturday. But the big one for me was Dan Little. Again, I thought he was outstanding at the back this week, because Dan had a bit of an iffy start, and actually sort of cost us a couple of goals in early games in the seasons, and he was a bit out of form and a bit down, and he's come back with an almighty bang. And I thought he didn't put a foot wrong Saturday, Dan, and I thought he was excellent. Not only just to defend him, but calm and bringing the ball out, passing the ball around and stuff like that. And the all back line was superb. It was marred by a little bit with Mike, our right back. He picked up a serious knee injury in about 25 minutes into the game, and it looks like it's ligament, so that he's going to be out for some time. But then Ben Jeffrey, who come into the side, my utility man is Ben. I can play him in any position, and he came in difficult circumstances. And he didn't put a foot wrong, and he was superb, Ben. So the all back line was fantastic Saturday, and then with Josh, Callum, Billy, and Dylan in midfield, they controlled a lot and was linking up the play. And then our front two of George and Tom was always dangerous, and Tom Blake got a hat trick, which was thoroughly deserved, and a man of the match. Yeah, and it was. I said I can't praise the lads highly enough. I thought they was excellent.
Yeah, and like you said, with Reece playing out from the back, the first goal was, I don't want to call it a long ball, but it was a long pass. It went out, got flicked on, and then Tom sort of nipped it in front of the defender and tucked it away. So I suppose it was. I would say that's a defensive error from their part, but at the same time, fair play for not giving up the calls and chasing everything down, which I think is another feature of the team as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. It is something I've worked on with Tom as well, because Tom's always been a good player, and I last season I felt he was a good player, but without knowing the sort of striker role per se of what needs to be done. And I've done a bit of work with Tom, and Tom's such a great lad to work with, because he listens and tries to implement it in his game. And he got his reward Saturday. He's now the club's top scorer with 10 goals in 7 games, but he's becoming more of a striker, picking up these positions, picking up the pockets, chasing lost causes, knowing when to be front post, back post. And that's all credit. We do the coaching, but that's all credit to Tom for listening and taking it on board and implementing it. And like you said, he was he got his reward Saturday, because there's some games with Tom, he doesn't score and he's frustrated with himself, but he puts in an incredible amount of work for the team, which certainly doesn't go unnoticed by me.
No, definitely not. And like I said, his first goal was a sort of a never give up attitude goal. His second goal was a header. He was unmarked in the area, wasn't he? But he still had to tuck it home. And the third goal, he did well, I thought, because it was from the throw-in, wasn't it? And obviously we all know you can't be offside from a throw-in. and he sort of read the play quite well, and then took the ball home nicely as well.
Yeah, and and what I liked with our third goal, because I think we caught him napping a little bit,
Yeah.
and it was quick thinking for Josh to spot the quick throw and Tom to peel off the defence as well to get in in an offside position. But you're right, you can't be offside, and I thought we just caught him napping, and that's just sort of playing with your edge type of football, which is something I'm always banging on about with the lads. Like it's important that you play with your head and think in the game, and that highlights that third goal from Josh. Quick thinking, Tom, quick thinking, and gets us a goal.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, to be fair to them, their goal was a decent strike. Although I expect Reece was a bit disappointed to concede it as near post like he did, but it was a good bit of build-up play from them, in all fairness. And it must have been quite nice for the lads to use the facilities down at Hughes Park as well.
Well, no.
Oh, right. Okay, right.
The answer, because we didn't get to use the facilities like we thought we was getting to
didn't
use
you?
the facilities. So we had to go into, I want to say a porter cabin, but that was probably being kind. And
right.
There was no showers. There's no working electric, so it was dark, and they've blacked out the windows for some reason.
Right.
So we was in there changing with our phones on and like after torches, and the gutter. I mean, we couldn't even shower. A sort of hour and a half journey. Not being able to shower, so we ended up getting changed on the pitch post game because at least we had the floodlights to see what we was doing.
Right.
So, what turned out to be like a really we was just sort of expecting a bit of luxury. It was probably the worst certainly the worst I've ever seen, and I've seen some states, but but yeah, the 3 point, well, not the 3 points, the progression into the third round was
made up for it.
Yeah, we didn't care really.
No,
we didn't care.
Fair enough. I wish I never mentioned that now. And now obviously, like you said, progression into the third round is very good. And I think I'm right in saying that the next round's late January, around the 21st of January, I think it is.
I think so, yes. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's round about that time, yeah.
Yeah, so that's something to look forward to for everybody. But obviously this weekend coming on the 25th of November, obviously all sort of mindset returns to league action. And you've got Shaftesbury Crusade A on Saturday, 2:00 kickoff at Lockley Sports Centre. So thoughts on that game this weekend?
It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a tough game for us. And like I sort of alluded to in last week's podcast, this is a replayed game. So it was our first game of the season, which we lost 3-2. And there was a few things, without going into details, wrong, not right in that day. And we've sort of made our opinions clear of it. And the FA said we've had to replay the game. So, which I think is the correct decision. So it leads to probably a bit of an exciting, tense game Saturday, because they'll probably feel a bit hard done by. We feel it's justified. So I should imagine there's going to be a little bit of needle in both sides are going to be up for this game, I think, Saturday. But it's going to be a challenging game for us. One that we have to be up for, one that we have to be on top of our game. But if we play like we did Saturday, I'm confident of coming away with 3 points.
Yeah, no, definitely. And is that, obviously, like you said, that's 2:00 kickoff Saturday. Is that on 4G, or do you know? Or
it's no, so far as I know, it's on grass. So
right, okay.
It's obviously it's Tuesday now. So at the time of recording this, it's still on. But there is a potential this time of year that it could be postponed, but at the moment it's all on.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that you reminded me that it's still Tuesday, so thanks for that. And I just before we start recording, actually, I noticed one of the games locally got called off tonight, which is on grass, which I was a bit surprised about. But like you said, at this time of year, unfortunately, and for the next couple of months, there's always a risk. So check the social media channels ahead of the game on Saturday before you travel. But I'm sure it'll be a good game on Saturday, and I'm sure it'll be a very competitive game. And obviously, with what happened earlier on in the season, probably a bit of needle as well. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, is it? So
No, as long as the game's played in the right spirit.
Yeah, that's right.
Like I said, for both sets of players, like that's nothing to do with them. They go out and play the game and play to win. There's nothing on them. So
No.
as long as it's played in the right spirit, yeah, the better side comes out with the 3 points.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully that's yourselves. As we always do, let's just step away from Bristol United for a second. Obviously, we had the international break over the weekend, so we didn't have no stress with City or Rovers, so that's good. Did you watch any of the England games?
I didn't watch the Friday night game, and I'm glad I didn't from what I've seen of it. But I did have the game on last night. I was watching probably 60-70% of it whilst doing things. And just going back to our last week's podcast, I think last night is why I don't watch England friendlies or qualifiers anymore. I mean, I just found it drab and boring and rubbish, to be honest with you. Let's speak honestly.
Last night was not great. But last night I thought last night was a lot better than Friday night. And I know we won Friday night and we didn't win last night. But I got to be honest, John, I was bored on Friday night watching the game.
Yeah, well, again, I said I didn't see any of it. But
yeah, no, you didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything, and it got to I think it was about the 60th minute, and I turned it off, to be honest, and we ended up watching another programme. Which, and like you said, you could not watch either of those games and miss nothing. So, I got to be honest, I'm quite glad that the real action's back this weekend, because at least with the Premier League and the Premier League's got its faults, don't get me wrong, but at least you see proper competitive football, don't you? So
yeah, definitely.
And Rovers haven't got a new manager yet, have they?
No, not as of unless they've done it in the last 2 hours.
No, but I think the guy that they got in temporary charge, he's doing all right, isn't he?
Yeah, he's won a few and draw one. So it's again, my thoughts hasn't really changed with this. I think they're going to stick with him to the end of the season.
Yeah,
I can't believe what is taking so long to announce that the manager. I know with him doing well, he's buying them a bit of time, which is I think a good thing. So if they are going to appoint externally, they can take their time to get the right person. But
yeah,
I was certain. I thought, well, they'll get it with this international weekend and no game themselves the weekend. I thought it'll definitely be probably, but definitely confirmed towards the end of last week. But there's still nothing. So it's a strange one. I don't want to sort of accuse the club of anything, because I think it's right they do take their time. But like, I don't know how much time they need to either say, let's give it to the current one to the end of the season and look again in the summer, or if they got somebody in mind, bring them in. I mean, it's a good 4 or 5 weeks now.
about 4 weeks. It's this point is dragging your heels too long, isn't it? But
yeah, so I don't know if they really fancy somebody. I can't understand why they haven't got him already. So that suggests to me they don't really fancy probably anybody. Well, in that case, then give it to the sort of current caretaker manager to the end of the season, when there's going to be more candidates normally available in the summer. So
yeah, I mean, it seems to me a bit like Bristol City in the sense that there's a bit of a lack of communication, which, and as fans, you want to know what's going on, don't you? You know, and even if they don't know what's going on, just say, look, we haven't sort of made our mind up yet, and we're going to wait and see what happens. But I think sometimes lack of communication is the biggest problem for a lot of clubs. But,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but there we go. I mean, you said Bristol City got their guy in. And he's had a couple of weeks with them now. So Saturday will be interesting against Middlesbrough, see what happens there. But again, that's for the weekend to look forward to, or not, as the case might be. But
just nice it's back though, and it's nice that the Premier League Championship Division 1 is all back on.
Well, it is nice, yeah. And I mean, I do like watching England, but like you said, that the qualifiers and that is just, it's so predictable in the sense that, and without sounding sort of arrogant or presumptuous, we're going to qualify. Yeah. It's just how we get on at the tournaments, isn't it, for England? You know, that's the biggest thing.
It is exactly that, and that's what sort of bores me a little bit with the all international games. I'd like to see the format of qualifying changed. I don't know really what to, but it's just dead rubber games for so many teams, and
Well, it's like last night against North Macedonia, and again, with no disrespect to them, they're not a powerhouse of international football, are they, North Macedonia? And we went there last night knowing that we qualified, and it was a sort of nothing game for us. I'm pretty sure that if that was a game that we had to win, say, to qualify, the performance last night would have been a lot better. It's just, and I'm not saying they shouldn't be up for every game, because they should be, but it must be difficult for the players to get motivated. It's kind of like on a completely different level. But if Bristol United won the league with 3 games spare, you just know that the performances would drop off a little bit because the job is done. And, do you know what I mean? It's
right, and it's only sort of, like I said, probably unacceptable, but natural at the same time. And like I said, I mean, you've seen that with the sort of like the team selections a little bit different last night for England, but like I know people come in and get their chance, like Ollie Watkins and stuff, but I mean, it's just for us as fans and spectators, I think that was it's just a little bit pointless and a little bit of waste of time, but boring to watch as well.
And you just mentioned the support as well. Fair play to anybody, because there's a lot of people that go and travel all around the world watching England, and it must one cost a fortune.
Yeah.
And also it must. I mean, I don't know what jobs they got, obviously, but if you've got a normal sort of 9 to 5 Monday to Friday job, it must use up all of your annual leave must be used up to do it. So fair play to them. But
that cost them a few quid. I know that.
Well, it must do, yeah. But they obviously enjoy it, and I know a couple of people that do it, and they say it's the best hobby in the world, sort of thing. But I'm sure it is. But if I started doing that, I think the wife would go mental. Mainly because we can't afford it, and 2, I'd never be here. But she might like that. Right. So just going back to Bristol United. So this Saturday, 25th, away at Shaftesbury Crusade A, which again, just to clarify, is at Lockley Sports Centre, 2:00 kickoff. And then on Sunday, it's the charity day for Dementia Care UK. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. The Alzheimer's Society.
Sorry, Alzheimer's Society, yeah. And that's 10 till 6 on Sunday. So if you would like to go along and support them, you can. Or you can watch it on live stream on YouTube. So that pretty much wraps up for this week, John. Thanks for joining me again, as always. Really appreciate it. We will be back with another episode next week where we'll look back at the game from the weekend, which hopefully will be played. And we can also have a chat about the charity day on Sunday as well. So wherever you're off to this week, whatever game you're off to, if you're off to a game in midweek or the weekend, enjoy yourselves, look after yourselves. Thanks for listening and downloading the podcast. If you can pass the pod on to anybody who might be interested, always appreciated. This podcast will be available on Podbean, Apple, Spotify and YouTube. We look forward to doing next week's episode and being back with you all.